Real quick, first and foremost, let me just say this to Coach Fox, Drake, gosh, their kids. It's like I told you on Tuesday, I was really impressed with the detail and just the intensity that they play with. And I thought their kids did a great job today. From fans from both teams, gosh, that's not a great day to sit outside and watch football. But I still thought there was a great turnout from both universities. And I'm really proud of our kids. I don't think that's not an easy game and an easy situation to be in, but I thought our kids, for the most part, handled themselves in a lot of ways in a positive way. I was really proud of them, and gosh, I don't know, watch us. Adversity for us, obstacles the way. Team that keeps fighting. So I don't know if I got a great sales pitch. I mean, to me, I got to go back and watch it. I think it's a really hard surface to, and credit their kids because they were able to, some intermediate plays they made, but I just, I think the ball something out of Brock's hands, I don't think Kyle's was a field position. I think that was probably a bad read. But, I just think some of that was surface, and yet we tried to be probably conservative, play to our strength, and make sure we, didn't put ourselves in bad situations. But, a couple of times we did. And, what I do love is how our kids were able to fight through it. Obviously, Keem with the big catch at the end, and David, handing the ball off to him and run the football. David wasn't even at practice yesterday because he had the flu. And that's a pretty gutsy performance of, coming off the flu. So, I just think it is what it is. But at the end of it, I think I judge our kids as much on attitude, effort, and their ability to do those things as much as anything. But it's why I think Drake did a great job as well. It was any lack of our kids playing hard. I think that this team has come. I thought we had a great week of practice. I think our kids have played really, really hard. I don't think any of that. Now, detail, that maybe that's that. If we want to be critical in an area, that I think that would be the area where I'd say, gosh, I don't know if we played with great detail. And on a surface like that, where every inch and every step matters, I think detail is the key to success. But attitude and effort, gosh, I've never questioned that from this group, and I certainly didn't today. I don't know. But again, the coach answer, which is probably what you're going to get right now, is what I think he learned is, most importantly, you're going to play in games like this, right? And it's not perfect. You're not perfect. The surface isn't perfect. And yet it comes down to the inches that matter. And again, when that kid had to make plays for us today, and I've said this all year about him, he's a freshman, and he's making those plays in those moments. And I don't care who the opponent is or what the situation is, those are big-time plays. And, I think what he learned is he can overcome, no matter what the situation is. And, boy, Brock's been in a lot of those for a young freshman. So I'm really proud of him. I think that, there was a lot of growth today. And you got to remember, a young team, and especially with some of the guys out in the secondary, a lot of young guys getting opportunities to showcase and learn and grow. I don't. Boy, I hope for their sake they'll be all right. But I don't have anything on those guys right now. And, whenever we get together, and if it's tomorrow, it probably will be, I'll probably have a little bit better information for you on both those guys. I mean, I don't know how it could, but if it does, then so be it. All we can be is us. And, like I said, we're the best versions of us we could be in the situations that we were in today. And we'll see what happens. Again, those aren't my job. My job is to coach our football team, and our job is to go out and to give our kids the best chance to win games, and our kids the best opportunity to play as hard as they can. And I think they continue to do that for us. So whatever happens, happens, and I know we'll be excited to play our ninth, a chance to go compete for our ninth win. Greg was, he was dinged up, as the second half of that Kansas State game. I would have to imagine that, with a couple weeks here, we can get him back to where he needs to be. But, the eyes worse, the pains, we held out because of the surface today. I think we just got to be smart, and hopefully we can get some of those guys back to full strength because, obviously no matter who will play, we'll need them. Well, I said it on Tuesday. I thought that was the thing that jumped out to me is they were very disciplined football team, really well coached. I mean, quite honestly, their kids, they play with great detail, and it's what's allowed them to have success and sustain success. And ultimately, it's really what kept them in the game, right? Their ability to play with great detail. And my hat's off to Coach and really his program, and they certainly got a lot to be proud of. But I don't think for me it was even a thought. I know a lot of you guys asked me that question on Tuesday, and I saw the weather report. I knew what was coming, and you know, when you get those situations, especially where our field's been, you know, a little bit, and we've got great people that work really hard at it, but man, it's a tough situation. And so, you know, unfortunately, we prepared for this, so I'm glad we did. And, you know, it's a situation even for our young guys that, you know, the fabric of us is that it's we before me. And so I just got done telling our kids, there's probably maybe some kids that are disappointed, but geez, you know, not too disappointed they're on an 8-4 football team and a chance to go get their 9th win. So great learning experience even for some of those young guys. Man. You know, I don't know how to answer that one. You know, I think the reality of it is what I really worry about is our kids. You know, I think a fan knows, they know this was certainly a unique situation today. And, you know, I thought our kids hung in there and did what they needed to do. So we'll let our fans be the judge. We got great fans. I know they support us. And so I appreciate that greatly. And, you know, winning by margins is never what I've been about, but doing it the right way is certainly what we've been about. You know, at some point this place is going to really miss David Montgomery because he's really special. And, you know, what he's done really at a time where if you look at the yardage and how he's gotten his yardage over the last 2 years, it's been tough yards, right? It's not been an easy road. It's not been a veteran offensive line that's paved the way. I mean, this guy has done so much of that yardage by himself. And, you know, with the help this year of a tight ends and certainly an evolving offensive line. But he's really special. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, when you need him the most, David's been there. And, you know, certainly was there for this football team today when we needed him the most. You know, well, it'll be fun to watch the film. You know, it's great for Sean to get some really good reps. And, you know, Bryce, gosh, he's had a great year. I mean, I don't know if anybody's grown, maybe in our program, especially at the spot that Bryce has, as much as Bryce Meeker. You talk about strength, and we talked about this really the springtime a year ago where, you know, Bryce was a guy that had a phenomenal winter, put together a great spring, put together a great fall camp, and all of a sudden put together a stretch of really good football. So I think that was a huge loss losing him. But I will also say this, Sean Foster, you know, got to go into the football game. It's going to be really fun to watch that video and see where did he grow from week 1 to where he ended up playing, you know, today, which is, gosh, I don't know what week it is. It seems like week 30, but whatever week it is, you know, that it'll be interesting to watch us grow. I think the biggest thing is catching the ball. You know, Joe's a really good athlete. He's our holder. Joe's a guy that we have a lot of trust in, and, you know, the guys that I thought made the difference, and I think that's kind of what happened a little bit on Corey's situation. That ball, you know, we just didn't catch it flush, and so, you know, I thought that it was critical for us to, priority number 1 in days like this, catch the football. Priority number 2, obviously protection. But Joe did a great job. I think what Joe Rivera did for the team today. How about Peyton Paddocks today? I thought Peyton was outstanding. I thought those guys really kind of came in, and guys that we knew because of the weather situation were guys that we could really handle.